God bless you. Welcome to the Stephen Smith Show. I'm not going to try to figure out that color on the television. Uh, God bless you. Hey, Miss T, you got it right. What color am I in there, Miss T? All right. God bless each of you. Glad to be in front of you on another week. I missed last week, just was tired, but I missed you all. And again, we're in a rapidly advancing season right now. I want to pay. There were a couple people. Oh yes, my condolences to the Ford family. That's the entire Ford of the funeral home family. I think it was Jerry Ford, who was the son of the late Emmett Ford, that passed away. I went to a viewing tonight, so praying for the Fords, praying for all other families locally that are dealing with death or some type of setback. I actually have a cousin of mine was in an awful accident, and I have to make it to the hospital soon. Uh, just folks, whenever you think that you can just sit back and life just rolls right on and things don't happen, and it just you want the enemy to give you a good season of leaving you alone. It seems like that's just when he strikes. What got me more so in the last week was just actually, I think I had words with Ernest Hillman. Ernest Hillman owns an Honest Monument Company. Ernest is a noted local businessman. And I was sharing with some things, some concerns of mine, because we're in the same industry. And I think I used something, and I do know that as a business person, that I study my craft and I go all in at extreme events. I mean, if my wife is listening, she knows I'm up sometime early in the morning, listening to different thought leaders, gurus, coaches, mentors, and everything else. So I go heavy on what I believe in. But I think that I kind of spent a little too much time talking about all of the natural things that I was attributing my success to. And somewhere in there, I forgot about God. And even though I'm one who has been called to break the bread of life. So I wanted to share with you tonight, because all of us get at those moments, and it's so. Also, I want to recommend a book. I'm not getting paid, not going to get anything. It's from the former Georgia gubernatorial candidate, Stacey Abrams. She wrote a book, Lead from the Outside. I recommend it, folks. You can go to, of course, Amazon's going to have it, but Barnes and Nobles. It's a great read. She really is a thinker. So I'm on board with some of the ideas that she shared here. We may get to some of them before this is over. But I think that I just went all in on my personal guru and studying my craft and being a good student of sales and everything else. And folks, if you don't watch it, you'll get caught up with your own juice. You'll get caught up with being your own best fan. You'll be caught up being your own best friend. And this text I want to bring out tonight. If I were to use a subject, I would use don't. What about God? Folks, I think that we all are going to get our 15 minutes of fame. And we're going to go and we're going to thank our producer, our director. We're going to thank the baker, the butler, and everybody else. We're going to thank hordes of people. But folks, what about God? And that was brought out by this text in Deuteronomy 8, verses 11 through 18. Reads as follows: Beware that thou forgettest not the Lord thy God in not keeping his commandments and his judgment and his statutes, which I command thee this day. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full, boy, when we get a full stomach, we can come out a bag on you, and has built goodly houses, don't let us move to a new neighborhood, and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and then all that is in thy heart is multiplied, then thine heart being lifted up, and thou forgettest the Lord thy God, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, who led thee through the great and terrible wilderness. that's like laying down the script of what God has done. Some of us came out, I know we're living in the got more, but the Lord brought us out of the ghetto. and folks led thee through the great and terrible wilderness. Some of us have been through some terrible flights of affliction in growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew if not, that might humble thee, and that he might prove thee to do good at thy latter end. And thou said in thine heart, my power, my studying, my acumen, my mentors, my receiving, and my power, and the might of mine hand have gotten me this well. But thou shalt remember, Deuteronomy 8:18, the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee the power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. Folks, no matter how clever you are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how hard working, I don't care how hard you work, I don't care how you put the grind in. Folks, if God didn't kiss your efforts, if God didn't do it, if God didn't sprinkle a little bit of his favor upon your life, you know, folks, you see people homeless on the streets. And folks, if it wasn't for the sheer grace of God, so would have gone I. So would have gone some of you. Folks, it's amazing sometimes that we get caught up all into our human skill set or our human aptitude, our human acumen. And we get all caught up on that and we forget God. But what about God? Yes, I know that now you can pull into the Mercedes dealership and the BMW dealership. I know that you ain't got to shop at no Shanebergs or no Macy's no more. You can go to James Davis, and now you can go to Oak Hall. But I'm speaking to you that if it wasn't for the sheer grace of God, because it's God who gives thee the power to get wealth. Not your studying, not your cramming, not your late nighting, not your guru, not your coach. It's he that giveth thee the power to give wealth. But when we're ready to give accolades, or the reason behind our overwhelming success, we name our connections from our college. We name our connections from the hood. We give credit and credence to our networking ability. But what about God? Folks, if it wasn't for the grace of God, preach, Steve, I am tonight. If it wasn't for the grace of God, you'd be putting your shoes tonight on your head and your head on a hat on your feet. Folks, it's the sheer grace of God. Somebody's got to